All right, so past the combine, finally past the combine. Yes, it was a rocky road. It was still an uptrend all the way till it finally started boosting to the target area. But it was a messy uptrend. I was making a lot of mistakes, doing a lot of stupid things along the way, which kept giving me max loss days. Then I would have to like reset my brain, get back at it, recover, then I'd be dumb again. And it was definitely a rocky road, but got there, got past, trading the NQ dominantly in the combine. And going into the XFA, I'm going to also just focus on the NQ with my XFA. So once this XFA gets to a really healthy profit level, then I'm probably going to start another combine, and I'm going to trade gold with that one. And then basically what I'll have is I'll have one account for each ticker that I'm trading, and each ticker has its own little strategy that's catered to it. If and when Top Step moves my XFAs over to my live account, then I'm going to take my live account in my trade log, where I also put down like what trade I took, how much what the entry, exit, how much I made, all that stuff goes in there. And then in my log, I have a setup for different accounts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my live account and I'm going to divide it up in my trade log. So I'll have a certain amount of funds allocated for the YM, for the NQ, and for the GC. And then based on what's happening in those accounts, I'll scale up or scale down. So I'm going to manage all that in my trade log. Still have the dashboard, of course, to see what the overall account is doing. I want to keep them separate because I want to be able to scale up and scale down appropriately for each ticker and the strategy that I'm using with it. So that's kind of the plan right now. So that once this XFA gets turned on and gets in, it'll mostly be NQ in here. So, but yeah, all good. And in that last video, I showed you the trades that got me past the combine. And now I'll jump into the XFA, probably start trading it maybe on Friday or possibly on Monday. I just got a few things I need to work out, and then I'll get in it. Because once I get into the XFA, I'm not going to trade it like I did the combine. I was very aggressive in the combine. I didn't really care if I ended up having to reset it. I don't want to have to do that with the XFA. So I need to be a little more conservative. My scaling ladder needs to reflect a method that's going to allow this account to grow. And I'm fine growing it slowly. I'm not in a hurry. If I grow it by $1,000 a month, and then eventually that's $2,000 a month, and then $4,000, and then $8,000, and it starts doubling from there, then I'm good with that. Whereas the combine, I wanted to try to get it done in 1 or 2 billing cycles, so that I didn't keep getting billed for the combine. So I got to finish working out those details on the trade plan and on the strategy to make sure that I'm going to be able to grow this account properly without popping it. So once that's done, which should be the next day or two, then I'll be able to start trading it. All right, let's go look at the live account. Okay, so here's my live account. If anybody's watching my videos that trades in a live account, how come you don't get that chart graph on your live account? I don't, at least, or do you get it? And I just don't get it for some reason. And then this setup right here with adjustments where it shows payouts, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not. And I don't have the option to toggle it on or off to show you when I take a payout. So I might take a payout and tell you that, but I have no way to show you. And then like 3 days later, it automatically pops up and it's like, oh, there it is. And then it's gone again. So I don't know how that works here with the Top Step dashboard. If there's any live traders with them that can give me some advice on that, that would be great. But live account, $9,289. And the high so far this account is $12,158. Had some ups and downs in it. Took some payouts, or took a payout in it, a payout when I first started it, and then a payout recently. But market conditions haven't been that great for this account. I like to trade the trends. It could go up or it could be a downtrend or an uptrend, a nice gradual. And then I look for those dips, and then when it starts to break back up, I'm in a trade. I take my trade, look for the next one, and go. But when it's really sideways or really like violent up and downs, then I don't get a nice trending setup that I'm looking for in the live account. So I'm just going to be patient, wait for the market conditions to fall back in favor. And when they do, I take those trades. I just took one the other day, and it looks like I'm going to take one here in just a couple minutes. So we'll see what happens. All right, traders, see you on the next trade. Okay, get ready to jump into the YM here to the long side. Got about 6 seconds. If it wants to get me in at this level, I'll get in. If not, I'll just enter the trade on a market order. All right, here we go.
Order submitted.
Okay, so in the trade. Hope this doesn't turn into an M pattern and break down. But if it does, I'll just make my money to the short side. All right, so I'm going to move this up here for now, just in case it wants to go through here. I can give it a chance to go, maybe squeeze some more out. There we go. So out of that trade, I'll take my $280. Okay, so I got a long trade setting up here again with the YM. So looking to jump in long if this confirms. Looks like it's going to. As long as it closes in this area, it'll be confirmed. Just 2 contracts. Okay, got a long trade setting up here in the Dow Jones. Going to jump in right now, buy 2 contracts. Okay, I'm going to add 2 contracts here in a minute on this retrace. And no, it's not adding to a losing trade. It's not a losing trade till it gets to the stop. This is an active long position that still looks good. Just having a little retrace, which allows me to build my position closer to risk. Okay, so now I'm short in this trade. Speed bumped in the YM 4 contracts. Okay, the risk in this trade is we're right at that support, what was once resistance becomes support area, and it's an area. Could have skipped the speed bump in this trade, just be on the safe side, just take that loss. But I'm short based on the probabilities.
Stop filled.
All right, there we go. So stopped out of that trade. So I'll take a $1,990 loss for the day, which after commissions will be a bit more, about $2,000. So a pretty big loss in the day. But unfortunately, when you're only taking advantage of the losers and not the winners, that's what happens. So let me go for a walk, and then I'll give you my recap notes and move on to the next day. All right, so here we are, end of the day. So this is that first trade that I took right here. Really high probability setup. Awesome trade. Went heavy on it. And then, unfortunately, I had to be a dad. Take care of a little one who was really, really cranky. And I just got out of my trade. I was like, I need to get out, deal with this. And can't have that distraction with this much size in a trade. I probably could have got out and just left one on and just let it go. But I didn't want to make mistakes as I was dealing with other things. So I missed out on a really big winner here. Could have been easily over $1,000 winner. The starting would have been $1,000 at least winning. So it could have been a huge trade, which would have been really great to help me out with this loser over here. So next trade of the day, I got in long right here at the very, very top, like almost top tick that long. It sold off. I reversed my position right at the very bottom, like the very bottom number. Of course, that's what happens. I got short right there before it rallied higher. And then I got out right at the very top before it sold off completely. So, of course, had I had my stop up a little higher, making it make a new high, this would have been an awesome winner, and I could have put some big money in the pocket today. But here's the thing. Do I change my strategy now to make sure I put my stop up, at the high, above high of day or low of day and those kind of things? And the answer is no, because my strategy is built on a proven statistical probability of success. I had an 85% probability that this was going to come down to this target. It did. My stop happened to be in a wrong spot, unfortunately. But I got my probability based on where my stops and my targets are. So I need to just stick with that. If I don't want to do that, I got to go back to the drawing board and figure out what happens probability-wise if I have my stops farther away and my targets farther away, so I'm still getting at least a 1-to-1 risk-reward on it. And I've kind of done some of that work already, and it's better for me money-wise at the end of the year to just leave it the way it is. So I had a rough day today with this. I'm not happy about that big losing day, the $2,000 that I lost. Really aggravated about it. But every time I have a bad day, I can't just go and change my strategy because I had a bad day. I got to change my strategy when my strategy is failing. When I'm failing, I need to change my trade plan. But today I did everything right. It just wasn't my day. The market just, it is what it is. The market sometimes does that to you, and that's how trading is. So anyway, rough day here, but let me show you what really takes place here that kind of frustrates me. Okay, so the strategy that I'm using with the YM is it has an 83% success rate right now. So it's pretty good. This is those squares I showed you the other night from that exercise a few videos ago. So with an 80% success rate, out of 10 trades, I can expect 2 losers. I need 2 winners because I have a risk 1 to make 1, so I need 2 winners to pay for those 2 losers. This week I had some other stuff going on, so I didn't trade every day. So I have one day that I don't have a winner in there because I didn't trade. Now I do this based on my trading windows. If I'm only trading Wednesday and Friday, then I would only be vetting my probabilities based on trading Wednesday and Friday. If I'm only trading from 9:30 to 12, then I'm only vetting my strategy based on those time frames to see what my probabilities are. And then I need to trade every trade that takes place within that time frame and on those days that I base my probability off of in order for my probability to be valid. And then even then, once you get that probability, it starts to slide. It started with 80%, and then tomorrow it's never going to be above 10, or it's going to be like 99% losing. The market's crazy and anything can happen. But all we can go by is probabilities, right? So I missed a day. And then today I had a winner, a really nice winner. It would have been more than a 1 hour winner, but I had to get out early. So a portion of that trade is gone, and that's actually more like that much of it's gone. So I took that little bit. So out of my 10 trade cycle now, if I do everything perfectly, I still have 4 left in the hopper. But I should be risking around $600 per trade. I got a little heavy today on my trade when I added to my position. And then when I factor in the speed bump on that speed bump is that much larger now because it's accounting for that previous trade. So that puts my speed bump trade way over. So at $500 risk reward, I just lost $2,000. So these last 4 squares, if I stayed at $500 risk reward, are gone. They just evaporated to pay for today. So, and I haven't even got there yet. That's if I don't make any mistakes between now and the time that I finish these off. So once I get these 4 in, my account will be back, in a good spot, plus growing a little bit. If I don't screw up the next 4 trade opportunities, that's what I'll be looking at. So you can see, traders, when you make mistakes or you skip trades or you exit trades early and you have a proven statistical probability, you can slowly bleed to death with a successful strategy and a successful trade plan. So something to be mindful of in your own trading, your own strategies. Throw up these blocks like this or whatever shapes and colors you want, and kind of see how your strategy is affecting you. And when you're having bad days and all that, what happens? Now, fortunately, a lot of times I can squeeze more out. So maybe if I get lucky, one of these becomes green, and I get a little bit of profit, more profit out of these 10 days. So this is the part that bothers me about today. Not so much that I had a red day, but what my red day has done to my trading, because I missed the full profits on that first trade and then had such a big loss on the second trade when I'm risking around $500 risk reward right now. The next part of the equation is my account is down to like $7,000. So my scaling ladder is calling for me to scale back down now to around $200 risk reward. So it's going to take me a lot more trades to actually get this one green block back. So a pretty big setback is basically what happened to today in order for me to preserve my account, because my scaling ladder is activated to scale down and I gave away pretty much any profitable days just to pay for today. So because I missed a couple days this week, which would have been big profits actually, and that first trade today got out early, so that messed up everything for the account. Huge setback, but it is what it is. Keep on trugging along, and I'll see you on the next trade.